Hi, everyone. Welcome to the College Essay Guy Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited you are here. My name is Catherine, and I will be your facilitator for this session. Before we get started, we do have a few housekeeping items to note. First, your camera and microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off. The panelists can't see or hear you. If you have any questions at all, feel free to use the Q&A button to type in your questions to the presenters at any time. They are here, ready and available to answer your questions. This session is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/collegeessayguy. We are currently in session C1. Where my mouse is circling at the moment. And this is also the same order presentations. So without further ado, I'll get out of the way and introduce our very first representative from Northern Arizona University.
Hey, well, good night, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. My name is Tyler Siegler. I'm an assistant director with Northern Arizona University. My contact information is on the screen, though I will be sure to throw it in the appropriate chat box so that you've got that at the end of the presentation as well. I always like to start our presentations with talking about where we're located, and not only because it's important that you know where you're going to be living, but also because we are not the typical part of Arizona. When you think of Arizona, you generally think of a hot desert full of cactus. And that's true for about 90% of our state. We live in the other 10%, the cool part of Arizona, quite literally at 7,000 feet at the base of the San Francisco Peaks, experiencing all 4 seasons, including winter. In fact, we are the 4th snowiest city in the country. We also have 11 different national parks and monuments within a 3-hour drive. The most famous of those, of course, the Grand Canyon, barely an hour away from campus. We are a very active, very vibrant community, a Division I school playing in the Big Sky Conference with the exception of women's swimming and diving, though while still Division I plays in the Western Athletic Conference. We are a little unique for a residential university in that we do not actually require that all of our freshman students live on campus their first year. About 90% do. There are 23 different residence halls on campus, and 12 of those are reserved for freshman students. We are a relatively large university at about 22,000 students, though we are still the smallest public university within the state of Arizona. The city of Flagstaff itself is about 75,000 people, and we are located smack dab in the middle of it. Downtown, just a 3 to 5 block, 10 to 15-minute walk away. We do offer about 100 different majors for our students to choose from. Of our 22,000 students on campus, a little over 19,000 of them are undergraduates, so we are a very undergraduate-focused institution. 40% of our students come from outside the state of Arizona, and they come from all 50 states. 50% of our students are also first-generation college students. They're the very first person in their family to go to college. I'm a first-generation college student myself. I grew up in rural Montana. I was very lucky to have parents who always said, Tyler, you are going to college, but it was also always followed up by, but we can't pay for it and we don't know what we're doing anyway, so good luck. One of the things that I love about this university is that dedication. If you don't know what you want to study yet, that's totally fine. About 30% of our students do come in as exploratory or undecided, undeclared. We are a rolling admission university, and our application process is exceptionally simple and straightforward. We do not require essays, we do not require letters of recommendation, and we are test score optional. We've been test score optional for about a decade now, so COVID actually did nothing to change our admissions requirements, other than that even fewer students than ever submitted a test score. Only about 15% of students did this past year. What we are looking for in the application process is how well you did in your primary academic classes, or what we call your core courses. 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 3 years of a lab science, 2 years of social science, 2 years of the same second language, and 1 year of fine arts. With the language, we do want to emphasize it is the same second language, but it does not have to be a global language. We will accept Hawaiian or any of the Polynesian languages, Navajo, Hopi, or any of the Native American languages, dead languages like Latin, and then yes, of course, the world languages as well. If you have or are taking all 16 of these core courses, and you have at least a recalculated GPA of a 3.0 or higher in those 16 core courses, you are automatically admitted. If you have below a 3.0, but still above a 2.5, and or you are missing one or two of these core courses, you are still considered for admission. You just need to go through a second round of review. Your application to NAU is really a 2-in-1 application. Your application for admission, of course, but also your application for scholarships. Your scholarship eligibility will depend on what state you live in. So if you are a resident of the state of Arizona, your base tuition rate is listed there. And then all scholarships, with the exception of the Lumberjack Scholarship, are awarded solely based on your recalculated GPA. So if you're an Arizona resident, you can see what your GPA is there. You're going to know instantly what scholarship you're going to receive. If you are from any of these states or territories in yellow and you were admitted to NAU, you will automatically receive the Western Undergraduate Exchange or WUI tuition rate. But you have scholarships that can be stacked on top of that as well. Same idea, completely dependent on your GPA. So long as you have a 3.0 or higher in those core 16 courses, you will receive at least $5,000 per year and potentially upwards of $6,000 per year. As a public university, you can see that our tuition rate does change depending on the state, but we do have scholarships that will help offset most of the additional costs. Your housing, room and board, et cetera, does not change depending on your residency, only your tuition rate. And of course, if you are joining us from a state other than Arizona or a WUI eligible state, your tuition a little over $25,000 per year. But again, so long as you have a 3.0 or higher, you'll receive at least a $9,000 per year tuition discount. 6 minutes goes by really fast. Thank you all so much. I'll post my contact information in the chat for you. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. The next representative is from Colorado State University, Pueblo.
Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Noelle Clark, and I am the Regional Admissions Counselor for Colorado State University, Pueblo, and I'm a proud CSU Pueblo alum as well. So I love talking to students about my university, my hometown, and all the great offerings that we have for you guys. I want to go ahead and start with where we're located. We are located in Pueblo in southern Colorado, so about an hour and 45 minutes south of Denver and about 45 minutes away from the mountains in 3 different directions. We're pretty mild as far as weather when it comes to thinking about the rest of the state of Colorado, only 25 inches of snow annually, and all those great outdoor activities that Colorado is known for are just right in our own backyard. So you can really take advantage of all of those things from our location in Pueblo. We're a small public university, so just about 4,000 students total. So that means your average class size is only about 16 students. So really nice small settings. You get to know your classmates, you get to know your professors, and you really get to build that relationship with them. We make sure you're not just one in a classroom. Your professors get to know you. I can tell you from my experience as a CSU Pueblo student, my entire 4 years, I only had one class that had more than 30 students in it. And in that class of 65 students, the professor still knew every single one of us by name. So you really get that personalized attention on our campus, and we make sure that's throughout campus, not just in the classroom. You're assigned an academic success coach as soon as you're admitted to the university, and they work with you your entire way through as a student. We have a very diverse student body in general, with students coming from 48 different states and 30 different countries currently on our campus. We have about 80 different areas of study total with all of our majors and minors, and we're a comprehensive university. So that means we offer a little bit of everything from the sciences to engineering, biology to humanities, business to athletic training, and a little bit of everything in between. None of our programs are impacted, so you're able to graduate within 4 years, regardless of what you choose to study. And right here, I've listed some of our more popular programs. All of our programs, except for nursing, are direct entry. We are nationally recognized for our nursing program. And so that is the only one with an additional application process. The rest of them, if you're admitted to CSU Pueblo, you automatically come in to that major. With our programs, some of the more popular, of course, nursing, health sciences, business, biology, and psychology. Regardless of what program you choose to study, you have a hands-on opportunity through those programs. We make sure you're not just sitting in your classroom for all 4 years, you're also getting that hands-on practical real world experience. This can be through research opportunities, which can start as early as your freshman year on campus, whether it's within the sciences or in our 4 brand new state-of-the-art psychology labs that we have that our social science students are using, through clinical opportunities and lab experiences, such as our simulation labs for our nursing and health science students. We also have great internships set up throughout our local community, throughout the state of Colorado and nationally. I always love to highlight our partnership with the Smithsonian, that we actually send students, almost all expenses paid, to Washington, D.C. for the summer to be interns at the Smithsonian, which is very popular with our history, political science, media communication students. We also have a really vibrant career center that works a lot with you guys to find those resources for you. Division II, as far as athletics, with 21 different teams, tons of different clubs and organizations on our campus. So there's plenty of things for you to be involved in at CSU Pueblo. We pride ourselves on being an affordable option for Colorado residents and out-of-state students. We are an automatic WUI school. If you live in one of the Western states, it's an automatic reduced tuition rate through the Western Undergraduate Exchange. If you're not from one of the Western states, don't worry. We also offer a reduced tuition rate from any other state that you're coming from. So you're automatically not paying that out-of-state tuition and fees with us at CSU Pueblo. Then scholarships can stack on top of that already reduced tuition rate from our automatic merit scholarships, which go from $500 to $8,000 a year. If you're an out-of-state student, you get an automatic $2,000 a year housing scholarship for living on campus. Then our own private scholarship application as well that matches you up to any scholarships in our system that you might qualify for. If you're the first in your family to go to college, meaning neither parent has a bachelor's degree, you can qualify for a $1,000 a year first generation scholarship and a variety of other financial aid and scholarships that we have. We are rolling admissions, so our application is open now for seniors. We are test optional for this year for the class of 2022. We don't know about future years yet, but for seniors this year, all you need is to fill out our online application, no essays, no letters of recommendation, no personal statement. Then we need your high school transcripts. If you have a 3.0 GPA, you'll be automatically accepted to the university. Anything below that, you can still be considered for acceptance. We'll just ask for some additional documentation from you guys. Right here, I have all my contact information, so please feel free to reach out to me if there are any questions you have about CSU Pueblo, Colorado, coming to school with us and being part of our pack. I also have down here an application fee waiver code, so if you want to apply, you can apply for free. Go ahead and throw all of my information in the chat as well and pass it on to our next presenter. Thanks so much for your time, guys.
We really appreciate it. Thank you. Just a friendly reminder that if anyone has any questions at all, to feel free to submit those through the Q&A. Any questions at all, our representatives are here and available to assist. The next representative is from Westminster College.
Hi, my name is Alexa Price. I am an admissions counselor at Westminster College. I'm also a current graduate student at Westminster, and I'm so excited to be here to talk with you about Westminster. Westminster is has a 32-acre campus, and it is located in the eclectic Sugar House neighborhood of Salt Lake City. And it looks like I'm having a little bit of trouble getting my slides to, oh, there we go. And it's about a 10-minute drive from downtown Salt Lake. And we've got all the benefits of a large city, which includes a thriving art scene, internship and community service opportunities. And there are hiking trails just 10 to 15 minutes from campus and 10 ski resorts within an hour's drive. The state of Utah also has 5 national parks and a number of state parks as well. And Westminster is a private, independent liberal arts college where students benefit from multidisciplinary learning in an atmosphere dedicated to civic engagement. And a liberal arts education allows you to explore other interests and to broaden your knowledge in areas beyond your major. And at Westminster, a liberal arts education is more than just earning a degree. It's about opening your mind to possibilities, developing the skills you need to solve real-world problems, and creating a meaningful life. And Westminster is a relatively small school. Our total enrollment is about 1,800 students, and about half of our students are out-of-state or international students. And as a private school, we have the same tuition as well as generous scholarships and need-based aid for both in-state and out-of-state students. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Westminster has a close-knit supportive community, and it's what's called a teaching first institution. The average class size is around 13 to 15 students, and 99% of our classes have fewer than 29 students. So you'll have a close relationship with your peers and your professors, and you'll never need to remember your student ID number because folks will just know your name. And Westminster's got over 50 programs and majors, and some of the most popular majors are nursing, business, performing arts, biology, or outdoor education and leadership. And Westminster also has a strong customized major program. So students can choose to design their own major in anything from environmental entrepreneurship to healthcare marketing. And Westminster also has a nationally recognized honors college. Westminster is a member of the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference and is home to 15 NCAA Division II sports. We also have a number of club teams on campus as well. And Westminster's approach to education is holistic, and so it includes extra or co-curricular programming that's outside of the classroom. 85% of students will participate in research or internships by the time that they graduate. We have a number of study abroad opportunities for students, and then here in Salt Lake, you can intern for tech startups, local nonprofits, or with large companies such as Goldman Sachs. And the NASA Space Grant Program has funded biology research projects through Westminster's Great Salt Lake Institute, and Westminster offers a number of other incredible undergraduate research opportunities. And Westminster also has programs geared towards students and their success as first-generation college students, such as the Legacy Program and McNair Scholars. And every other fall semester, Westminster offers the opportunity to participate in the expedition, where students and professors load books and camping gear and themselves into vans for a semester-long road trip around the West to 8 states. And it's designed to cost about the same as living on campus, which you of course won't be doing. And as far as student life goes, Westminster has over 40 student-led clubs and organizations, and these range from major specific clubs to ones that are more social in nature, and it's always easy to get a new club started if that's something that you'd like to do on campus. And we also have a 2-year on-campus housing requirement for incoming first-year students. So housing is guaranteed, and you have the opportunity to build your community right away by living on campus. And we want everyone to feel a sense of belonging. And so living on campus is a great part of that. And at Westminster, we care deeply about student success and well-being, and we offer a wide variety of student support services, including a lifelong career center, first-year learning communities, a veterans center, which supports Westminster's participation in the Yellow Ribbon program, a health and wellness center, and many other services on campus. And so back to scholarships, there are a number of ways that students can receive aid at Westminster. All students are automatically considered for merit scholarships when they apply, so no extra steps for that. And they typically range from about $11,000 to $27,000 per year. And students can also be considered for need-based grants from Westminster by completing the FAFSA if you're eligible for that, or a similar route through the CSS profile. And then we have a number of talent-based scholarships available to students too, and those do have some extra steps such as an audition or a tryout. And this is just a little bit about the application. Westminster is fully test optional. We don't have plans to require test scores in the future. And our application is right on our website or through the Common Application. So thanks so much for taking the time today, and I'll drop my contact information in the chat, and feel free to reach out anytime. We look forward to supporting you and to connecting. Thank you.
So much great information. Thank you. The next representative is from the University of Wyoming.
Hey everybody. Hi everyone, my name is Emily Inez. I'm an admissions representative for the University of Wyoming. I'm also an extremely proud alumni from this institution. So starting off, we're located in Laramie, Wyoming. We're about 2 hours from Denver. We're located in a very beautiful part of the country. You can see that picture in the background. It's pretty much what campus looks like right now. Getting to see those fall colors change is one of my favorite things. We're also voted the #1 small college town in the United States. So we're also extremely proud of that. A little bit about our student population. We're just over 11,800 students currently, and our student to faculty ratio is 14:1. So you're going to get that good small class size, with our average class size being 30, but also you're getting that opportunity to learn from the professors, because 90% of our classes are taught by the professors. Last year, nearly 80% of our graduates had a job or were in grad school 6 months after graduation. We're very proud of that, even though that was during the pandemic. So we're still super proud of that high number. Within our student body, we have over 90 countries and all 50 states represented. Our breakdown is 57% in-state students and 43% out-of-state students. With that, you're going to get to experience lots of different cultures and meet lots of people who have different experiences than you. And we're proud to say that 95% of our students receive scholarships or some kind of financial aid. So our students absolutely use the outdoors so much. If you love the outdoors, this is the school for you. We like to say our students have a nearly 3 million acre backyard, because that's how much national forest and public land is located around us. You can see we're super close to any kind of outdoor sport you could imagine. When it comes to UW Pride, we have Division I athletics. We're very proud of all 17 of those teams. Wyoming doesn't have any other 4 years, and we don't have any professional sports. So pretty much the whole state backs the University of Wyoming, and that is clear to us. We also have incredible club sports and intramural sports. We have vibrant Greek system on our campus. And then we have fine and performing arts as well. And something unique to that program, if you're interested in that, you don't actually have to be majoring in those degrees in order to actually participate in those programs. We also have over 300 clubs and organizations, ranging from anything social to professional development. We also have a very incredible student government on our campus. When it comes to majors, we have over 200 areas of study, anything from accounting to zoology. We have engineering, nursing, anything you could imagine. We encourage our students to double major, minor in whatever they would like in order to create the most well-rounded experience while they're at UW. We also have a really interesting honors college that focuses on interdisciplinary studies. When it comes to study abroad, we're proud to say that we have the largest endowment of any public institution in the nation when it comes to that. So not only do we have over 400 sites we can send you, either domestic or international, we also have an incredible scholarship fund to make that possible. We also can send any major abroad, however they would like to study abroad. Applying to the university is 3 very easy steps. You apply to us either through the Common Application or through our website. We're looking for a $40 application fee and some required documents. Our admissions requirements are really straightforward. We're looking for completion of our high school success curriculum. So that is 4 years of English, math, and science, 3 years of social science, and 4 years of additional coursework. And then if you meet that, and then also our 3.0 GPA requirement, congratulations, you're a UW Cowboy. If you have anywhere down to a 2.25, we can totally still talk and figure out a way to admit you as well. For fall of 2022, we are test optional, but we're not sure for fall of 2023 yet. So potentially we would require a ACT of a 21 and an SAT of a 1060. When it comes to scholarships, we're also very straightforward. We are a Western undergraduate or WUI participating school. So in order to qualify for that, not only do you have to be from a WUI state, so North Dakota, South Dakota, West, you also have to fall within this gold portion, so this upper left-hand corner. You have to academically apply or academically qualify. Other than that, everyone can be for the brown and gold commitment. That is a non-resident. You use your unweighted high school GPA and your ACT or SAT score to figure out how much we could offer you annually for 4 years. If you don't have a test score or your test score doesn't fall across the top of this graph, you would just slide all the way across with your unweighted GPA in order to determine how much we could offer you annually for 4 years. The application for this is the application to our university, so there's no additional paperwork or applications that you have to do. We don't have any early admit programs or anything like that. We're on rolling admission, so technically you can apply all the way up to the first day of classes. We highly recommend you don't do that. And getting it in usually before winter break is the best for students. And then we offer a variety of ways to visit campus. You can do it virtually, or we offer in-person tours Monday through Friday, twice a day. We also are very happy to Zoom with you as admissions representatives to go over admissions requirements and anything like that. This is my information. Feel free to send me an email or give me a call if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help through your college admissions process.
Awesome, thank you. Before we hear from our very last representative, just another friendly reminder that if you have any questions at all, to feel free to submit those using the Q&A button towards the bottom of your screen. Any questions at all about the college application process, or if you just have any general questions about any of the schools represented here, we encourage you to include the school name. Our last representative, but certainly not least, is from the University of Iowa.
Thanks, Catherine. Good evening, everyone. My name is Erin Monroe, and I'm one of the assistant directors of admission with the University of Iowa. I'm regionally based for our office in California and primarily work with most of the students who are coming from the West Coast. Happy to answer your questions about becoming a Hawkeye this evening. The University of Iowa is located in Iowa City, Iowa. We're over on the eastern side of the state. We are just 20 minutes away from the nearest airport, which is in Cedar Rapids. Our university is centrally located among the major Midwestern cities. We're a large public Big Ten institution, and our home is a unique blend of high art and small city, where town and campus come together to make one of America's definitive college towns. If you look closely at the picture of campus, you'll see a river that organizes our campus into the east and west sides. The building with the gold dome in the center of the picture is the old Capitol building, and this is the east side of our campus. It hosts most of your day-to-day campus life. All of your courses are within about a 5 to 10 minute walking distance of the old Capitol building. This area of campus is also directly across the street from downtown Iowa City, which hosts more than 100 different local restaurants, shops, boutiques. We're a micro-urban city. Downtown is an extension of our students' campus life. There's jobs and internships, venues for the arts, variety of performances and festivals in food, film, fashion, art, music, and more each year. The west side of our campus is primarily home to our athletic venues, graduate student studies, and the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics, which is one of the largest teaching hospitals in the nation. Our campus has just over 31,000 students, representing 45 states and 40 countries. We have a large out-of-state population on our campus. Our most populous states represented at Iowa are Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, California, and Texas. First-generation college students make up about 21% of our first-year class. The average GPA of our admitted first-year class last year was a 3.81. We offer over 200 different areas of study, and some of our most popular majors for students coming from out of state are going to be business, open, so they're open to different opportunities, engineering, psychology, sports and recreation management, nursing, studies that are related to the health sciences like biology, chemistry, health and human physiology. Because of our rich ties and the connections with the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics. And last but not least, our internationally recognized English and creative writing program. Our application for fall 2022 is open. We have an early action deadline of November 1st, and we make admission decisions on a rolling basis. You can apply for admission up until March 1st of your senior year, and that also includes automatic scholarship consideration. Students receive a timely admission decision in about 2 weeks of submitting their complete application. We are test optional for students applying for fall 2022. If you apply test optional, we request a personal statement with your application and make an admission decision based upon a holistic review of your application. If you apply with a test score, we will utilize the formula seen on the screen here. This is the RAI formula. It takes into account your ACT or SAT equivalent, your cumulative GPA, and the number of core classes that you'll have completed through the end of your senior year in math, English, science, social studies, and world language. If all of that adds up to be a 245 for in-state students or a 255 for out-of-state students, you're automatically admissible into our College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. We also offer direct admission into the Tippie College of Business, College of Engineering, College of Nursing, College of Public Health, and our College of Education. If you're interested in learning more about any of those additional admission requirements, please feel free to drop a question for me in the Q&A. Again, with an application to the University of Iowa, you're also automatically considered for our merit-based scholarships. Collaboration over competition really defines Iowa's academic culture. We have a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and our students really get to make those personal connections with their instructors and their classmates. 33% of our students participate in research where they work professionally with staff and faculty. We are a tier 1 research institution. So research occurs in every single major on our campus. One of my favorite examples actually comes from the Department of Dance, where they do studies over the fluidity of movement and collaborate with the College of Engineering about how to apply that to the field of robotics. We offer student support services for your academics and your well-being. There is supplemental instruction, tutoring, and subject-based help centers on our campus, along with embedded mental health counseling in our central campus locations. When students want to broaden their academic experience and their worldview, they study abroad in more than 70 countries each semester. When our students are outside of the classroom, they are engaged and learning through their experiences. We offer over 500 different student organizations, ranging from academic-based, intramural and club sports, faith-based and multicultural organizations, fraternity and sorority life, service and interest-based organizations, and much, much more. Dance Marathon is our largest student organization on campus. It's philanthropic-based in a great way that students like to get involved. We're a school that's rich in pride, spirit, and tradition, and that comes through our performances in the Division of Performing Arts done by majors and non-majors, and in our 21 teams that compete in Big Ten, Division I, NCAA athletics. Pictured here is Kinnick Stadium, which is where our football team plays. Right across the street from Kinnick Stadium is the Children's Hospital, and we have a fantastic tradition of waving to the kiddos in the Stead Family Children's Hospital after the first quarter of all of our home games, so they're a part of the football experience too. But if you have more questions about becoming a Hawkeye, please feel free to reach out to me. Here's our contact information as well, and I hope to get in touch with you in the future.
Awesome, thank you. Really appreciate all the representatives, all the great information shared, and we do have some time left. So at this point, we're gonna now dive into our Q&A portion of this session. I invite all our representatives at this time to go ahead and turn on their camera, to get ready to unmute themselves, and we'll go ahead and start with our first question here, which is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? What advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll go ahead and get started in the same order in which you all presented it.
Sure. So my advice is to reach out to the admissions counselors, us at the universities that you're interested in. We are only here to give you accurate information. We are not used car salesmen. We want you to find the right fit for you, and we'll tell you whether or not we think that could be a good fit. And believe it or not, sometimes we'll even give you other options to consider. So use your resources at the colleges and universities.
My top advice for students is to really take the time to explore all the different options out there. A lot of times by this point in your life, a lot of things you're interested in have been influenced by friends, family, expectations, schools. Take the time to see the things that you're interested in. If that major sounds as interesting, if something that one university talked about sounds a little bit interesting, check it out. Take the time to really explore what's important to you during this time, because that's what college is all about.
And my advice is pretty similar too. I think it's to reach out to admissions staff and other folks on college campuses too. And that's something that we can help with in admissions. If you want to connect with professors, with other students, with student support staff, colleges have all of these incredible resources for you that are there to help you be successful. And you can use that as a prospective student. And so don't be shy, reach out to us. We love to hear from you. It always makes our day, and we can connect you to folks all over campus and help you continue to explore new things.
I would encourage students to put their feet on campus. Really immerse yourself into a community that you could be joining for the next 4+ years of your life. I think it's important to not only realize you're joining an institution, but also a community that hopefully will welcome you with open arms.
My advice is to get organized. As you join this college search process, you're going to be receiving a lot of information from many different platforms and avenues. As you begin to make login information for different schools as you're applying or being admitted to, make sure you're putting all of that information in a notebook or a file online or on your computer in a way that you're going to be able to keep track of that information accurately and help you make that college search process maybe a little less stressful by being organized.
All great advice and helpful tips to keep in mind as well too. So as stated, everyone here is here as a resource, so feel free to reach out. Our next question here is, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school? What's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
I would say, I don't know where you all are coming from. I'm assuming most of you not from Arizona, but that leaving the state is an option for you. I think we as students, I was there, are afraid to leave our home states, both because it's comfortable and because we just automatically assume it's going to be too expensive. And that is simply not the case. And oftentimes it is less expensive to leave the state than to stay in your own state. We see sometimes that price of going to college and there's a little bit of sticker shock, and so you just revert to the university closest to home. That price you're seeing is if you were to write a check to the university and hand it over, something that less than 3% of students in this country do. So you are not going to be paying that price. It's a base price. It's only going to go down from there. There are 4,000 plus universities and colleges in this country. You have lots of options outside your state borders.
So what I always encourage students to remember about CSU Pueblo is that we have such small class sizes that you really do get to know your professors and build that relationship with them. I can say I graduated about 5 years ago. I'm still in touch with many of my professors. They ask me how I'm doing, how my career is going, and want to know how they can be supportive even now after so many years after graduating. And I think that community and having that support while in college was so instrumental to my success that I think it's something that's very important for students to keep in mind, having that access when your professors do actually know your name from your very first class on campus.
And what I would encourage students to remember about Westminster College is that it's a place where you can be your full self. And so that means, something different for everyone. And it's a place where, like I know a student who put their interest in public health and theater together to create a major that focuses on access to the arts as a health issue. And another student who just really wanted to get involved in research right away, and actually did that in their very first week on the campus at Westminster. And so it's a place where you can just be exactly who you are, jump right into all of these exciting opportunities.
I think one of the biggest things about the University of Wyoming is the opportunities that go beyond the classroom, whether it's the opportunity to explore the outdoors that we're located so close to, or the opportunity to travel across the world to 400 different locations that we can help fund you to.
Iowa, I really want to emphasize our town and gown relationship. So the university really gets the students connected to the greater community rather than just being on campus all the time, because our downtown area is literally 30 seconds across the street. Most of your courses have excursions and collaborative sections and case studies with local businesses or businesses in the greater Iowa City corridor. So our students not only, of course, are taking those classes to get their degrees, but within those courses, you're actually getting resume experience. You're able to highlight some of the projects that you've worked on, some of the relationships that you've built, and bring that beyond graduation. So really that community connection.
Awesome, thank you. We're gonna try to see if we can do this one more rapid fire. This is our last question here, which is, what is one myth you would like to debunk on the college admissions process? What is one myth you would like to debunk on the college admissions process?
I think my one myth is that, trying to figure out how to word this properly, that we are trying to find a way to keep you out rather than a way to keep you in because we want to be seen as especially competitive. I don't know which one of us is the most selective university, and I can promise you even that person wishes they could admit nearly every single person who applied. We want you to come to our university and to have a great experience, and if we can find a way to let you in, we can. We will. There are horror stories about universities with less than 1% acceptance rates, and again, that's fine. And again, I want to emphasize there are 4,000 colleges and universities in this country. Go beyond the headlines of those 6 or 7 that we hear about every single year.
For me, I think one of the myths I'd like to debunk is the idea that you need to have everything figured out before you come and talk to us to know what you're interested in, what you want to major in. We don't expect you to know those things or to have that set in stone. Ask us questions. There's no stupid questions. We're happy to explain anything throughout the process. If we use terms you don't understand, ask us, or that we're happy to explain any of that to you. And we know that you might not be as familiar with all of the processes, and that's what we're here for. So don't feel like you have to have everything figured out before you come and talk to us. We're here to make that process easier for you.
And one thing that I'd like to debunk specific to the application process is about test optional admissions. And so with Westminster being a test optional school and a number of schools having test optional policies, that means it's optional, it's totally your choice. And so at Westminster, we don't have a preference for whether you'll send test scores. It's completely up to you. And so when you're working with schools or learning about different admissions processes, again, definitely reach out to admissions staff and they can tell you exactly what that looks like at their school, like what exactly the process is, because I know there's a lot of information out there and it might look a little bit different everywhere. And so again, I just want to emphasize that option to always connect with staff and to kind of hear about like what exactly that process looks like and what it'll mean for you.
Something I'd love to debunk is that you have to know exactly what you want to study going into it. Also, like most schools are going to have advisors that are happy to help you figure out what you want to study. And even if you go in with a major, there's absolutely no shame in changing your major. Like Tyler, I'm also a first generation college student. I had no idea that you could change your major. I thought I was locking myself in for the next rest of my life. So you can change your major and you can go in without a major.
A few people kind of talked about this in their presentations, but something that I'd like to emphasize again is that it doesn't necessarily cost more to go out of state. So many of us spoke about scholarships that we have, that most students don't actually pay the sticker price of tuition and room and board. There's programs like WUI, the Western Undergraduate Exchange. Private colleges may seem like they have a larger sticker price or cost of attendance, but oftentimes they're offering very generous financial aid packages. Some private schools meet 100% of need. There's the cost of living factor, where it may cost a lot less to live somewhere else in a different place within the United States or even internationally. So it doesn't always mean that it's going to cost more if you go out of state.
Awesome. And that is a great way to end. I really like that question. There are a lot of myths out there. And so it's helpful to hear from a different perspective. And so again, we really appreciate our representatives being here for sharing. What a great Q&A. I've learned a lot, so it's always great to hear directly from the source. So again, thank you. And thank you to each of you for joining us. We have now reached the conclusion of this session. As we close, there'll be a very quick 5-question survey that will appear on your browser. If you don't mind taking a moment to fill that out for us, your feedback is extremely helpful. And this session is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/college essay guy. Thank you all and have a great night.